Sure shot, baby!
So, good day, everyone. We're here for one of us special segments here on the DVD show. It's like just saying. We're just gonna say our thoughts and opinions on current events in the sporting world. So I plan to invite some friends over, or sometimes I can do it on my own also if I have some takes about certain sporting events here on my podcast. So for the first part of this segment, I invited Miguel Robles. He's also part of the Lasallian, and I want to welcome you to the show, bro.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me, man. It's an honor.
Okay. So before we get into the basketball talk, like the stuff we want to talk about, I just wanted to ask, how are you now? Like it's ECQ again, and we're back stuck at our homes for the rest of every day, the rest of the week. We're just at home.
Well, I'm okay naman, my family, we're just staying at home because, it's dangerous. And yeah, just like everyone else, as much as possible, you have to spend time at home because, it's really dangerous out there. But yeah, I mean, I feel lucky that we're doing well in this situation, like my family. So I'm really thankful. And I guess I'm gonna look for some ways to help others na lang because I have some family members that um were affected by the virus. So just praying for them and all. So yeah,
Yeah, hoping they recover soon so that, parang bumalik sa normal yung buhay nila. And syempre, it's tough to overcome COVID
of
then.
course, of course.
And yeah, sana mag-adjust din yung family mo with the new situation. Sana yeah, they
How
get
about
well
you?
soon.
How are you naman?
Ako, ako
Yeah,
wala. Boring. Ito, gumagawa lang ng mga podcasts. Nag-interview lang ng mga athletes,
yes, sir.
messaging. Wala,
Uh,
walang magawa eh. Watching
oh,
sports lang all day. How about you with sports content? Kamusta naman? Anong mga sports pinanonood mo now recently?
well, yeah. I just watch basketball, syempre. Wala namang PBA ngayon, so I just watch
Oh.
the NBA. Besides that, I watch some football then.
Mhm.
Like, I'm a Real Madrid fan, so I'm kind of up to date. So yeah,
Oh,
pretty much that's it lang naman.
okay. So for today, guys, I invited Miguel to talk about some topics that are very popular here in the local scene. So first off, it's the Gilas Pilipinas because their training has been kind of tough. In early January, they went to the Calamba bubble, and then they exited a few months earlier because the schedule was kind of hard to it was hard to play here in the Philippines and also in Doha because of COVID. So the teams kept changing and they kept preparing for tournaments, but they were in and out of the bubble at the same time. So for now, I wanted to ask first you, Miguel. What was your what was your what do you call this? Your thoughts on the team, like the one last January with some PBA players like Troy Rosario was there, Kiefer was there, with that team that did get to play a single game together. What was your thoughts on that team?
Well, I thought it was okay because marami namang veterans there,
Mm-mm.
and like you said, sina Kiefer, Troy Rosario.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it was a pretty solid team in my opinion, naman. But I didn't have high hopes that they're gonna end up playing because the situation of the virus was really bad, especially
Yeah.
here. But looking at the lineup, it was pretty solid, naman. Like I'm guessing naman that they could mesh well together. So yeah,
Yeah, as a fan, to be honest, I thought that they'd go like, kunwari, there was six PBA players. So, kunwari,
Mm,
six of them for sure na. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
the third window against Korea yun, diba? Then they'd play like six amateurs, like maybe Dwight, Baltazar, and all these other guys.
Well, for
So,
major tournaments
sayang,
like
diba?
we should put PBA players like in the past.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought it was pretty much okay, man. Yeah,
Yeah, kasi syempre mahahasa din yung amateurs kasi
yeah, for
hindi pa sila
sure.
sanay sa international play. Like sila Dwight, it was their first time to play in Bahrain, and sila Baltazar, you could see the talagang bago pa. But if you put Kiefer there, who's played in like a ton of international competition, he could mentor these guys well. Pero sayang nga hindi natuloy eh.
Well, what do you think's the difference between like playing in those FIBA matches compared to like local college ball or PBA?
Oo.
What's the top of your head? What's the difference ba for you?
Yeah, kasi sa FIBA, feeling ko like you need to be a great shooter. Like mas mahalata pa pag pagaling ka mag-shoot kasi yung game iba. And then dapat you're smart also because you won't get the same minutes. Kasi kunwari, as national team, you play the best players normally on your squad. Eh kung sanay ka sa club team mo that you play 30 minutes, dito baka 15 lang. You need to contribute also and have
Yeah.
like 12.6 rebounds, 3 assists or something to make an impact on your squad. So I think that's the main difference.
Well, me naman, I noticed that I think uh, the rules are more strict sa FIBA. Uh, it's
Oo.
not bad naman, but I think players have a chance to be more physical here.
Mm.
That's why I think do you remember that no World Cup, we went up against Greece, tapos they made a comment na
Oo.
we dirty daw.
Yeah, si Ranidel and Tenorio daw.
Yeah,
Parang,
yeah.
yeah.
Oo nga.
Yeah.
But to us here, normal na eh. Alam mo yun,
Uh,
yung mga physical plays. But yeah, in FIBA, I guess I noticed that it's more focused on like fundamentals and skills, like how players play.
yeah. You could see like Team USA in the World Cup. They had Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, and the other Celtics guys
Yeah,
plus the other stars. They had so many stars. Donovan Mitchell was
they
there. They
lost
lost, diba?
time.
Yeah.
I mean, Turkey pa lang ata. I was at Turkey. Turkey hirap na sila eh.
Oh, they
So I was
won, but like
surprised.
close. And
Yeah,
Turkey didn't even have their stars. Parang
yeah.
ganun. Yeah. So nung they were gonna go against Korea and there was one game against Indonesia. Do you think they would have won those games if they pushed through with that lineup?
Well, I don't know lang the lineups of the other countries. Pero Indonesia, I think kaya naman. Pero
Yeah.
Korea's always been a
Yeah.
tough foe somehow.
Yeah.
So I guess I wouldn't be surprised if, well, I would expect them to na kaya nilang talunin yung Korea. Pero I wouldn't be surprised that they would lose siguro, like by a close margin. But other countries like Indonesia, I feel like kaya naman no matter the lineup.
Yeah, Korea talaga mahirap eh. Like now, 'di ba, bago na yung lineup that we'll talk about later, yung puro amateur players. And feeling ko, pag Korea, if they're gonna play their naturalized players, si Ratliff, sino kaya babantay doon? Like Ange Kwame, 'di ba?
Yan nga eh. And that, di ba he's a pro na? Like before
Oh, he
pa?
played in Pure Foods, yung team mo, 'di ba? He
Oh,
played
yeah. But I don't
30
remember
and
it. That's the
20.
problem.
Oh,
Oh,
30 and
yes, yes.
20 siya dito sa PBA. So parang pag all amateurs tayo, mahirapan sila bantayan si Ratliff with our
And there's
bigs.
this thing about Korea, I noticed, like in 2013 pa, like, shooters talaga sila, no? Like, they're really gifted with the fundamentals. Like, not all of them are not athletic naman, pero, well, except the import, pero they're really good in terms of like shooting, free throws, palaging pasok. So, yeah, tough though.
So tingin mo yung results iiba ba kung itong lineup nga ng all amateurs? Or do you think kaya pa din Indonesia tapos Korea 50-50 na talaga? Kasi 2 games rin.
I think Indonesia kaya naman. Korea, I would expect us to lose. Pero I think knowing those amateurs naman, they could put up a good fight. But it's different kasi when you put amateurs up against grown men, alam mo yun, pros for a long time, regardless of what league they're playing for. Like the example you gave, Team USA, they're younger, they play in the NBA. You would think, yo, sure win.
Malakas
Pero,
yan.
yeah, but up against grown men
Oo.
used to international competition, it's really different talaga. It's a different ball game. So I would expect them to like test the waters and have a little bit of some issues. Pero Top Baldwin's really a good coach, and his system's it's really good. So it would be a good challenge for him.
Yeah. So nung February nga, they went home again they went home again to Manila because the window didn't push through in Doha and here in Clark because of COVID. And they came back I think March something with an all amateur lineup. So when you heard the news of the lineup and you saw the players there, what was your initial reaction? Because it was really, for me, it was kind of tough to see the lineup. And yeah, I'll expound on it later. But yeah.
I wasn't surprised. Honestly, I wasn't surprised. But I think like any other Gilas fan, I read through the comments. Many questioned naman, why is it like all Ateneo halos? Then I looked at the lineup. There were some players that didn't have a lot of minutes, even in the UAAP. So I was surprised.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was surprised talaga. But then again, I was surprised that it actually pushed through. But after reflecting, yo, it's Tab,
Yeah.
and it's
You don't want to doubt him.
MVP. I don't want to doubt him. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. But then again, there was an article after that. They asked him like, why is your lineup full of your players? He said that he runs things the same way in Ateneo and in Gilas.
Same
So with
system.
that, I think it makes sense naman. I think it makes
Yeah.
sense because he wants to play his style, diba? Because that's what he knows. But then again, given that good fact, we can't deny that it's early preparation for the college team of Ateneo.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at it naman, it's pretty smart. It's an
Mm.
opportunity for your players to play together. But it's not illegal, it's nothing
Yeah.
bad because he has the right to choose his players basically.
Yeah.
But we can't deny the fact that they'll have early preparation compared to other schools. And I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think anyone can deny that naman.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just like any other lineup, whether it's the All-Star game, whether it's any other national team, there are snubs. There are people who are left out. And it
Mm-hmm.
seems that based on the reactions, a lot of fans were looking for people like Renzo Bando,
Yeah.
Fran.
Yeah.
Marami siyang hanap.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yun lang naman. But I mean, it's not illegal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad naman, but
Yeah.
we can't deny the fact that that's early. Somehow it's early preparation for Ateneo.
Yeah, for me, I took it in a similar perspective, I could say, because I thought that there would be a few PBA players. Like I interviewed Gabe Norwood for my
Yeah.
podcast here before they announced the lineup, and he was like, "Yeah, it's the Olympic qualifying tournament and the third window of the FIBA World something FIBA Asia Cup, and he'd be willing to play and if he gets the call." And he was waiting, like key first, like the captain supposedly of the team when there were pros, and the pros were willing, like they were coming from the bubble, and then they even went to Calamba after a few weeks. I think they barely spent time with their families even in the middle of pandemic. So I thought we did play some PBA players because it's the OQT. We weren't even supposed to be in the Olympic qualifying
Yeah,
tournament.
but we got invited lang after dropping
Yeah,
one.
because New Zealand withdrew because of
Well,
COVID, I think.
yeah, that's why I was somehow shocked then.
Mm-mm.
Cause the weight of the tournament, it's the Olympic qualifying
Oh,
tournament.
like you never know when you're gonna have the chance
Yeah,
again.
the last time we were there, it was in a Romeo, diba?
2016, yeah.
I watched that game versus France.
Yeah.
That was a stacked team. That
50-50
was
yun.
just
50-50 game. We could
yeah,
have
yeah.
won. Oh,
Similar to that. That's why I was somehow surprised. Yo, bakit puro college players? And then when I
yeah.
read everything, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Tab.
Yeah. Pero feeling ko kasi like Coach Tab's system, it doesn't fit everyone nga.
Yeah, yeah, for
They're
sure,
right.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So sa PBA, di naman niya kailangan kunin yung 12 or 6 most talented or 8 most talented. Mamili lang siya like the ones that fit his system. Pero I don't know kung wala siyang trip or something. Pero
I don't know.
sayang, di ba?
I don't know if you agree, pero when I realized that Tab's a problem for any other UAP fan or any other UAP school was when I don't know if you remember the 2016 finals when Lasal went up against Ateneo. We
Oh,
had a stacked team, diba? Like
yeah.
Sinateng were there,
Yeah.
Embala, Richie. So we would think na easy win na tambak lahat ng games. But looking at Ateneo's lineup, they were full of young players.
Oo. Hindi pa hinog yun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were that was pure raw talent eh. And then
Yeah.
they made it a close game.
Yeah.
They beat us once pa nga, diba? And then game one
Second
was
round. Second
yeah,
round of eliminations.
and
Lasal
then
lost. That's their only loss.
game one was a close game pa nung final. So
Game winner pa ni Teng.
yeah, then
Yeah.
I realized at that time, yo, what if he had really good players like superstars like Sino 30 would evolve?
Yeah.
So that's when I realized like this coach is really good talaga.
Yeah.
So
In
I don't know,
addition
what do you
to
think?
that, di ba sa Jordan and Lebanon, the one I mentioned to you then when we talk about stuff like these, di ba
Yeah.
siya yung parang ginawang program director and head coach, tapos nag-World Cup sila, then now, wala na siya dun, di na sila nag-World Cup,
Yeah.
talo
So
na sa FIBA Asia.
I think to describe him, I think he's really a great basketball mind talaga.
Mm.
But then again, his system doesn't fit anyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone in particular. Like siguro some players that he would prefer lang. That's why I'm not. That's why I get his side naman. I get his side that I want to stick with these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to Chot Reyes also, and he mentioned that in Iran, ba yun? Or Iran and Argentina, they went through the same process. Like when sila Ginobili were in Argentina, that batch, and then in Iran, the batch of sila Haddadi, They were
Yeah,
like this also. They made it all the amateur players, and then people were like, they're just getting demolished. Ganun. Pero on the other spectrum, parang I'm thinking, the potential of some of the guys they sent aren't Hamed Haddadi or Manu Ginobili players eh. Parang sila Dwight lang and a few others could
yeah.
be really good eh, diba?
Pero that's how Gilas shifted their strategy, no? Like over the last 2 years, parang
Mm.
they wanted to focus on the youth,
Yeah.
but others were complaining na, oh, it's like, isn't that the Ateneo team?
Yeah. Yun nga eh, there's two sides to the
Yeah.
story talaga. Eh.
I get why naman they would pick those guys because it's the same system. But I think if to judge whether that strategy works, I think that we have to wait for a couple of years pa to
Yeah.
judge whether this actually worked or not.
Mm.
Because we didn't go to the World Cup yet, so let's see what happens in the World Cup or the next FIBA Asia tournament. So, or yeah, the next Olympic qualifying tournament. See how they fare.
Yeah, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So if they do well in the OQT, all of us will be happy for sure because we'll be
Yeah.
cheering for them. But
But
it's
what do
gonna
you
be
think?
tough.
What are your expectations about this team?
So with this team in the OQT, I honestly think we're not gonna win a game against anyone with this team. Like our first five is gonna be all the Athenians with um Dwight, Ange, Isaac, and all these other players. So I'm not sure if we can compete well. Imagine in Serbia, even if Jokic and Boban don't play,
Jokic
they still
playing.
have
I don't think Jokic could
maybe
play.
not because they have the playoffs in the NBA, but maybe like Milos Teodosic and stuff. How the heck will we stop him
Yeah, like
with
I
our
said, these
players?
are grown men who are
Yeah,
used to international competition,
yeah,
and they play. They've had experience in the NBA or the EuroLeague at least.
yeah.
Season pa.
EuroLeague's a big one, big league. Yeah.
Hmm, for sure, for sure.
So makakasa sila pero I don't know lang if they'll reach the potential na in-expect nila by 2023 World Cup that these guys are gonna be
I mean,
magaling talaga.
the last World Cup, I thought the squad was good because they had Sinabolic and CJ Perez, and
Yeah.
looking at the lineup, pretty much that was a young core pa rin, di ba? A young lineup, and yet they struggled because yun nga, grown men.
Oh,
Experience.
kinabahan, 'di ba?
Yeah, I think read like watching the interviews of experienced international players, they always say that experience is a huge factor in FIBA.
Yeah.
So let's see how they play na lang.
Yeah. See, like for instance, CJ Perez in the game against Angola, he
Mm.
forgot the time. I don't know what he did.
Yeah.
And he shot a random three, like for the win. Of course, it did go in, and then we
Played
lost
well,
in
also ni
OT.
Bolick. Perez and Bolick played really well.
Yeah, Bolik played well in the whole World Cup. At least
Yeah.
offensively, he played well. In defense, medyo he got killed eh. Pero in offense, him and CJ
Yeah,
played well. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So as we mentioned two of the young stars in the Gilas program in the previous World Cup. So yeah, CJ Perez, Robert Bolick. One player that got traded in the PBA season, as we segue to another topic, it's a really big issue here also in the
Yeah.
Philippines, is the trades during the PBA off season. Because you mentioned earlier there's no season. So what else will we read now or watch now that walang season? So it's
Yeah.
like the trades that are occurring in the off season. So one is the CJ Perez trade. So before you go, I'll say mine first. Baka mahiya ka eh.
Yes, sige,
So
go.
my opinion, to be honest, the two trades I could see how it could be even, like the Banchero Abueva trade and the Stan Hardinger Slaughter, based on the need or the style of the coach. But here, in my opinion, it's not really a good trade for both sides. It's only a good trade for San Miguel because
Yeah.
they didn't even give Von Pesumal. Like I thought Pesumal was gonna
Yeah,
win the
yeah.
trade because he's a young guy that maybe Terra Firma can build on and
Who
they
did they
can
give? Sina
flourish.
Alolina, right? Sorry.
Yeah, Alolino, Ganuelas roster, and I don't know. Basta it's like two bench warmers
Yeah.
and Matt Canuela's roster. So imagine you're gonna get CJ Perez. My comparison is like you're trading Kevin Durant or LeBron James, and you're getting like the three players from Orlando or something, or
Yeah.
Minnesota or something. It's not really anyone that you could build on. That's what my thoughts on it. I don't
Okay.
know if people have the similar sentiments to it, but how about you? What are your thoughts on the trade? Like when you first heard it?
If you look back at the trade deadline of Orlando, what they did was they just emptied their starting five, diba?
Yeah.
They just emptied the starting five. If
Now
you
it's
look at
the G League players.
yeah, if you look at the Vucevic trade, how did he get traded again? That was uh Wendell Carter Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
And some people.
Yeah.
Um, that's not. I can't even compare that to the CJ Perez trade. Like it's
Yeah.
like CJ Perez in the PBA is probably like Luca.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like trading away Luca for some people from what, diba?
Yeah.
From the Bulls that. So I mean, siguro it's an approved trade, fine,
Mm-hmm.
because ang daming picks, ang daming players, but I don't know. Like I'm not biased naman, but the Banchero Abueva trade is pretty much fair in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
Banchero is the scrub naman.
Yeah.
He's a good player talaga. He just didn't
He was a
super.
superstar in Alaska. He was their
Yeah, he
number one guy.
did well lang in Magnolia in my opinion. He was
Yeah.
playing well, but not super,
Mm-hmm.
like not over the top.
Yeah.
Kay CJ Perez naman,
Yeah.
ang dami nag-complain eh. I mean, even
Yeah.
Yang Piao, di ba? Like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
He went on a show, right? And then he said, "We're
Yeah,
competing for fifth place."
yeah, and the board should listen to fans, ganun. So yeah, it's my explanation. It's kind of weird. Na it's like trading out Luka talaga. But then again, I'm not surprised because my perfect understanding of teams like Terra Firma and Northport. Do you know the small market teams in the NBA?
Yeah,
Teams
mga OKC, ganun.
yeah, OKC, Minnesota.
Yeah.
They struggle in winning championships because they're
Mm.
small market teams. The only small market team I know that had a dynasty is San Antonio. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you analyze where players want to play, it's always the Lakers, always the Celtics,
Yeah,
or
Miami.
Miami,
Yeah.
or Golden State,
Mm-mm.
even Toronto nga. So, their firm is like a small market team.
Yeah.
What's baffling lang to me is that they didn't even hold on to Perez for like a few more years because
Yeah.
Minnesota had Kevin Garnett. He was
Mhm.
able to win an MVP there. He was able
7
to
years siya dun.
yeah, di ba?
Yeah.
So, yung kay CJ Perez, ba't pinakawalan ka agad? Hindi ko
Yeah,
get.
3 years pa lang yata siya or 4 years. Basta
Man.
short term lang.
It's kind of weird. It's odd. I mean, well, their firm they received an entire unit, as Leo Austria said. But
Mhm.
CJ Perez, come on, man.
Yeah.
Because CJ Perez could be an attractive commodity for players to actually join him.
Yeah.
That could be a thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know why they gave him away.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, to be honest, CJ Perez should be like the franchise player of a small
Oh.
market team. Like, you know how you mentioned the small market teams in the NBA?
Yeah.
Like Ja Morant, he's in Memphis now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a building block. OKC got SGA from the Paul
SGA,
George trade,
yeah.
but they have someone to build around. So
For sure.
now they could have had Stan Hardinger and CJ Perez and Terra Firma. I wonder if they'd make the semis or something with those two guys palang. You don't even know
Yeah.
who their role players would be. Kasi diba, you could compare the Perez trade to the Stan Hardinger trade also, I don't know, a few years back. Stan Hardinger also went to San Miguel. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, that was also very, I don't know, it's a very questionable trade, the Stan Hardinger one. And then now they
Well-
got CJ Perez also.
Well, how I see it now, the PBA is trying to shape up similar to I don't know if you're very familiar, pero excuse me. The football leagues in Spain, like La Liga and
Yeah.
England, the
Mhm.
Premier League. Top teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, Liverpool. If you look at their lineup, puro stacked players talaga, top to
Oh.
bottom,
Oh, yeah.
world-class players. And
Yeah.
syempre, they're always at the top of the table, the standings. If you look at the middle part to the bottom, those are players we don't know.
Oh,
That's how the PBA is starting to shape up now, in my opinion.
yeah.
Because in Spain, it's always Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid,
Mhm.
sometimes Sevilla. Kasi
Yeah.
puro world-class players, diba?
Oh, yeah.
This is starting to become like that na yung PBA. It's San Miguel, Beerman, Ginebra, Magnolia, sige. And then
TNT.
MVP group, TNT, Meralco, diba?
Yeah.
Puro stacked. And then teams like Northport, Terra Firma, those are like
Kawawa.
the young guns, diba? Developmental players that end up joining the teams like teams like San Miguel. And that's what happened to teams in football.
Ganun din, di ba? They go to Barcelona pag ayaw na nila.
After Barcelona sees them, yung galing nito.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sergio Ramos, he was in Sevilla before he went to Real Madrid. He was like, this kid's good. Sign him for huge money.
Yeah.
That's what it's like na. Well, I mean, there's nothing entirely wrong naman, but if we're trying to achieve like a
Parity.
balanced
Like,
league,
yeah,
yeah,
parity in the league.
it doesn't help the cause. Like what Yang Yao said, we're vying for fifth place.
Yeah.
I understand what he's trying to say.
Yeah,
Honestly,
to be honest, also, imagine CJ Perez with Joshua Munzon, and yeah, if Stan
yeah,
Hardinger was there, and the other trades they did before, like if you scrap that, if they didn't do it,
mm,
their team might be a top five team in the league
for
now if they,
sure, man. Like,
yeah, if they did it properly.
I mean, if you draft naman kasi, that's why you can't rely on the draft entirely. Like teams tank, like in the NBA, the Knicks tank, but they draft people like Frank Ntilikina, lottery pick, pero hindi naman siya
Kevin
superstar.
Knox. So
Yeah, Kevin Knox. So we can't rely on the draft. But I mean, that's potential pa rin. So what if Munzon becomes a superstar? What if
yeah,
diba, he's paired up with Perez?
yeah.
That's a contender.
Backcourt duo, grabe yun.
Yeah.
20 points per game, pareho.
Well, I get why teams would trade an aging star, but a
Mm-hmm.
young star like I said, it's like trading Luka out of the Mavs. I don't
Yeah,
get
he's
it. Like,
22 years old, 21. The trade
did
mo
you
na.
hear what Mark Cuban said? He said na parang I'd rather get a divorce than
Yeah, I
trade
saw that.
Luka.
He said it in
Diba?
a podcast also. Yeah.
Right. So
Mm.
it's something like that, which is really odd. Well, I'm not saying that's criminal naman what happened, but it's just odd, questionable.
Yeah. So with the trade and also to connection with that, a few days or weeks after, Stan Hardinger went to Ginebra. So as a Ginebra fan, of course, I'm happy.
Yeah, you're
But
happy for
I
sure.
also had I also had the reaction of like, why are you stacking up on superstars in the same team again? Because I like Stan Hardinger and Bolik together. I did,
Mm.
and we only saw them for a game because Bolik tore his ACL.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't know, those two plus Jamie Malonzo could have been something special as well. And I'm not saying Slaughter's not good or he's
Oh
not
yeah.
that good anymore compared to before. But I don't know. I like Stan Harninger's game better than Slaughter's, definitely. That's why from a non-biased perspective, parang it's fun to see him sana in Northport with Bolik and Malonzo and Ferrer and all these other guys. So what was your thoughts on the trade when that
Well,
happened?
it's not as questionable as the CJ Perez trade for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know, like I think Slaughter gets bashed too much
For
because
sure, yeah.
ang dami nagsasabi like yo galing Ateneo to champion
Yeah.
mythical 5 like
Mm.
asan yung stat. I think what people want kasi he wants him I think some players siguro or some fans they want him to hard carry talaga tipong stat pad double every
Pero
night.
hindi siya ganun eh. Hindi siya
Hindi
ganun
nga,
player.
the way I would
Yeah.
describe Slaughter's game, he's like one of those scrappy
Yeah.
bigs, like Rafi Rivas.
Mga ganun, yeah.
He doesn't put consistent numbers up, but they do the little things that
Oo.
don't show in the scoreboard.
Yeah. Yung
But
role nila, nagagawa
yeah,
nila.
the role, exactly. It's important to know your role. And
Yeah.
Slaughter, that every team needs a guy like Slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, a scrappy big that goes for the hustle plays, size, defense during crucial possessions. But then again, if you weigh the assets to trade, if you compare him to Stan Hardinger he could be a franchise cornerstone. He could be a star. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I appreciate people like Slaughter, pero I would put Stan Hardinger's value above him.
Yeah.
I think that's why people were questioning the trade. Which who's older ba, Slaughter or Stan Hardinger?
I'm not actually sure.
I think Slaughter's
Yeah.
we're both at the same age, 30 plus ganun. Pero, yun nga, mas mataas yung value talaga ni Stan Hardinger eh. So, well, mali mo, it could work out for Northport, diba? But they need a scrappy big defense because they have scorers like Malonzo, Bolik.
Yeah.
But you should be happy. I mean, you got
Yeah.
the guy.
Pick and roll, LA Tenorio, Japet, and then
Honestly,
Pringle, Stan
I
Hardinger.
was happy when I heard that Abueva joined Magnolia.
Yeah. Yeah. With Paulie.
Yeah,
Fun
absolutely.
to watch for sure.
But yeah, yun lang. Let's see. I mean, we can't fully every trade naman kasi. I noticed that there are articles like who won versus who lost in this trade deadline, who won, teams that won, teams that lost. We can't fully determine if a team won unless they've played a handful of games.
Yeah, wala pang games eh, diba? Na-postpone pa ng pandemic.
We'll see. Pero kawawa si Slaughter na he gets bashed talaga. Like, aminin mo, Ginebra fans will bash si Slaughter.
Yeah, they call him Barney. I'm like, what the heck? He won a best player of the conference with Ginebra and you're calling him Barney.
won ba best player of the conference?
Yeah, like once or twice. Maybe like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Not this game kasi I think people want him to score all the time. But he's a scrappy big eh. Hindi siya like snarly for post moves, diba?
Oh.
I think fans should have an open mind in analyzing trades,
Yeah.
honestly. I can't think of an example that na parang when a team gets a scrappy player and worked out for them. I can't think right now because it's kind of rare.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Yeah. Na may misconstrued lang yung yung personality ni Slaughter. Kasi like kunwari, I think I sent you the article nung may ginawang article about him when he posted a statement online and then they put some facts that he said about this, he meant that, and then he got pissed. He posted it on his social media. I didn't mean that. What are you saying? Like, I never said that. You didn't talk to me to clarify, and then you wrote about it.
Why does he have a reputation among the league?
I don't know. He just has haters. It's like Terrence Romeo. Like the guy has haters.
Perfect example of that is Jimmy Butler.
When
so inaway niya si Kat.
Yeah.
All of us were like, yo, he's an ass. Jimmy Butler's an ass.
Yeah.
Kat, they're just young and Jimmy Butler's trying to be cool, ganun. Pero yun pala, people were wrong. He just wanted to win. So there must be some misconceptions regarding Slaughter's personality, just like Butler's. And now people love Jimmy Butler. I love Jimmy Butler. Honestly, I used to hate him. I was like, this guy's pretty
I used to hate him also. Yeah.
And then when I watched him in Miami, Mamba mentality is hell, man.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's a good analogy, especially because Slaughter, I'm pretty sure he had maybe other issues with the personal that he didn't share. That's why he's semi-retired. That's what they called it.
Yeah.
Trained in the US to like hone his skills. And you could see from videos, at least on Instagram and YouTube, that he's more mobile now.
He his game, Diba US at Philam siya, diba?
Philam, yeah. He played there yata, tas ni-recruit dito or something. I think.
Yeah, si Romeo nga, diba, his stints TNT didn't work out. But when he went to San Miguel, he knew his role. He didn't start all the time. He was off the bench pa nga sometimes, diba? He played well.
He's off the bench madalas. Kasi Kabagnot and Ross starters.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see what happens with Northport. Yeah.
It's really interesting. Talagang yung trades, people have varying opinions in it. Siyempre, yung iba fans' perspective na parang Northport, that's where the Ginebra, San Miguel, and Pure Foods players go then. But sometimes you never know, they might flourish there then, diba?
Yeah, I mean, and looking back sa trades, I'm just really surprised with the CJ Perez. And every fan is talaga. But let's see how it unfolds. Mali mo maging superstar bigla sa Alulino, diba? So, tingnan natin.
So you touched on it a bit, but you like the Abueva trade for your team. But how about from like a middle ground? Like you're not remove your fans hat first. And what were your thoughts on the trade? Was it? Yeah, I mean, for me, it was also an even trade. I mean, Banchero, I've seen him play a lot. He's a stud also. He can get buckets anytime, and he can do a floor general role on a team. So Phoenix, that's what they were lacking in the bubble. It was very obvious. So from a non-biased perspective, what were your thoughts on the trade? And maybe also from a personal perspective, sama mo na rin.
What was the exact trade? Was it straight up Banchero for Abueva?
No, they swapped draft picks. Parang Phoenix got the better draft pick, I think, and then they added another one, a future. So it's not really much of a difference.
Okay. Well, in comparing both, Abueva is more proven to be a complete player. Banchero's a stud, but I think Abueva's better than him pa rin. Like in terms of accomplishments, And I'm not surprised on why fans would have negative reactions because they would think na Abueva's more proven.
For sure.
Why did this happen? Luge, as they would say. But if you look at the lineups of both teams, it makes sense, absolute sense. Because when Banchero was playing for Magnolia, they were running 3 guards: Baroka, Poldi, Banchero. That's
undersized.
Good. Undersized is they can't defend the wing anymore. Like tall wings, if they switch on the post, may hirapan si Banchero or Baroka kasi undersized na. And then if you look at Phoenix naman, they had Vic Manuel and Abueva. If you look at, di ba parehas yung laro nila?
Yeah, Perkins pa.
Perkins pa. So those three, you can't, that type of player, that low post, grind it out player, you can't have too many of those
Mm.
on one. Let alone all-stars pa, in my opinion.
Mm.
All-star caliber. The three of them, they're all-star caliber. And you can't have too many of those types of players in a single team. So that's
Yeah.
why they wanted to get a new guard to pair up with Matthew Wright, diba? And
Perfect. Yeah.
and then Magnolia naman needed a guy like Abueva to defend the wing and can switch out on bigs because Abueva's like he plays like a power forward sometimes,
Yeah,
diba?
he's undersized pero matigas katawan.
Matigas, like
Mm.
basically same sila ni Vic Manuel and Perkins. Both of them are undersized
Mm.
bigs. So it makes sense if you look
Mm.
at it's not always in trades kasi it's not always measuring the how proven a player is. It's how they fit into the system. Like if, for
Mm.
example, Banchero didn't work out as they'd hope he would. So they wanted to get a different position. Like Abueva, same as
Mm.
Phoenix, they wanted more guards. Banchero, makes
Mm.
sense.
Yeah,
But
makes sense.
if you compare accomplishments, Abueva pa rin, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm not surprised that some fans reacted negatively with the trade. But I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm really
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Extra toughness. Like I think he was suspended for too long. Kind of unfair.
Oh.
But I'm really happy as a fan because that's extra toughness, star caliber, more scoring than he can score pa rin, di ba?
Mm.
So, I'm happy naman. And Phoenix fans, they should look at the bright side for them. Like, they got a good guard, so we'll see.
Yeah, imagine Magnolia's starting five. They can play Mark Baroka, Paulie,
Or the
Calvin Abueva. If Pingris comes back, or if not, they can
I think
play
I would bench
Corpus and then Sangalang. Oh,
Sanggalang, yeah, Sanggalang.
yeah.
Corpus really played well nung PBA bubble.
Defensive player talaga eh. So yung
Uh,
defense pa lang, Baroka from
Then they
the...
got, ano pa, di ba, where did Ahamisi go to?
Ayun,
Ahamisi, di ba?
Magnolia. Yeah.
Come on, they got a guard pa rin. So,
Yeah. Because I think they wanted a shooter.
yeah.
Because like Baroka's not a shooter, Halalon's okay, and Melton's not. Yeah, Melton's not a shooter also. Abueva's not a shooter. I mean, they're decent. They're not like above average. And Misi's like superior
Yeah.
shooting. Yeah.
Yo, that guy's a sniper, man. Like
Yeah.
just like Paulie. Parang I think Paulie can show him the ropes. Alam mo yun, he's really good. So, and I'm happy. But Phoenix, who did they draft? Who did Phoenix draft?
Larry Muyang. They drafted another big. That caught me off guard. I thought they were gonna get Pasaol actually, but like I don't know. Let's see their plan. Maybe
I get
wanna
naman.
stack
Kasi
up.
pa all place like Perkins and Vic Manuel
Baka.
and
Yeah.
the Bueva, diba? So yeah, I get the Muyang naman. It's more size. Pero I think Phoenix should be happy pa rin. Looking at Phoenix kasi, we would think that they're a small market team, but they're pretty stacked if you look at their lineup. But I mean, they went to the semis, diba? In bubble.
Oh yeah. And
semis.
Abueva barely played.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna win, honestly.
Same. Nag-choke lang nung game 5 eh. Sayang.
Yeah.
They couldn't shoot anything.
Pero Matthew Wright, lakas. Sobrang lakas ni Matthew Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they should be happy pa rin.
So with the PBA teams, like you mentioned Yang Yao's comments na there's 4 stacked teams and then 5 to 12, they're fighting for 5 to, they're just stuck there in the 5 to 12 category.
Yeah.
But honestly, do you have any dark horse teams? I mean, we don't know when the conference is going to start. You have like a dark horse like NLEX or Rain or Shine with the draft or Alaska, I don't know.
He said na they're playing for 5th.
Yeah.
Who's your top 4? It's
yeah, the one he said kasi is TNT, Magnolia, Ginebra, San Miguel, and then 5 to 12, yun na yung competition nila. I mean, do you have a dark horse that might make the top 4? Maybe even Meralco with Norman Black? I don't know.
I think Meralco could make it. Norman Black's proven coach, 5 beat. As LaSalle fans, we grew up watching the 5 beat. Losing. But yeah, Norman Black, I'm not surprised if Meralco plays. But they have Newsome. He's a star.
Yeah.
And then
they got Bello from Blackwater.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, they did. So may scorers sila.
Phoenix
pair with Newsome.
If Phoenix plays really well, they could go 3rd, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then also, depends on how well Kiefer will play. Baka kaya NLEX. And Rain or Shine kasi parang sila eh. They don't rely on superstars. They have a system, no? Defense. If you look
they have a new coach also. Yeah. It's Gavina.
Rain or Shine, all the games, puro low scoring yung kalaban because the defense is so tough.
Yeah, they're number 1 in defense pero offense bababa.
They're like Knicks right now, diba? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I think my dark horse would be Phoenix pa rin. Then Meralco, then Rain or Shine.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
So
You?
I think that's the topics that I have for today. Do you have any other topics you want to tackle? I mean, it can be any sport, but how you want to discuss something to get it out of your chest. We still have time. I mean, there's no time limit here.
Um, I want to talk about the Celtics, man. You're a
What?
Celtics fan. You're a Celtics fan. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts? Why?
I mean, today we won against Minnesota. So we're recording this on Saturday. And we beat Minnesota. Tatum had 53. That's the most
Yeah,
points
it's
since Larry Bird. I mean, there's two things there. Like Tatum is scored 53, but they almost lost to the Wolves, and the Wolves are the worst team in the league. So you can look at it in two ways. But
yeah,
then
yeah,
I'm pretty happy now because they've won 6 out of their last 9 games, I think.
yeah.
And in my opinion, if they peak at the right time, that's the perfect time. Like I don't want them to peak early, and then like the Bucks, people have been saying that they've peaked early the past 2 years. That's why when it's playoffs, they lose. In the regular season, they beat everyone by 20 and above. But the Celtics, yeah, they've been struggling. Terrible ball movement, no bench play. And I heard in a podcast that Tatum, Brown, and Kemba and Smart, they're the ones that keep moving. And then the others, they're just there to shoot, but they can't even shoot
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's a really tough. But I believe in Brad Stevens. I mean, they have the track record, Eastern Conference Finals in the last 4 years, and they
Yeah,
got Evan Fournier, and he hasn't played that many games yet. So I'm hoping Fournier can play the Hayward role from last year.
yeah, for
You
sure,
never
for
know.
sure.
Yeah,
Well, I think Brad kasi it's unfair how fans, if you look at the Celtics page, ang daming fans sabi, yo, I think Brad's the problem. It's
yeah, madami. Stephen A. and first
yeah,
take every day.
it's
Yeah,
unfair, man.
yeah.
You can't blame him lang. Pero I don't know if you've watched this, pero recently Dwayne Wade said na, I mean, you have superstars like Brown, Tatum, and Kemba,
Mhm.
but each team has an identity.
Yeah.
Like Miami, they're known to be scrappy. New York
Heat
defense,
culture talaga yung nabibuild sa
uh,
kanila. Yeah.
Nets scoring,
Mm.
Lakers star power defense. Pero he said that parang Boston lacks that identity now. Like, yo, we're this team.
Mm.
We're unique for this. So he's sort of implying that they're mediocre and parang they don't excel in a certain factor of the game. Do you agree with that? But if you disagree, what would you think is would be their identity as a team?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, at least for this year, because before they had that identity, when Al Horford was there, they were
Yeah,
the team that no one cares about, and then they make noise in the playoffs. I mean, it's still possible now. We're all still fighting for spots in the playoffs, but I agree with Wade there and with you also if you agree
yeah,
with his sentiment. Because what before there'd also be Scrappy, Marcus Smart. He's like the
yeah.
heart and soul, like Draymond for the Warriors, as your Warriors fan, and Tristan Thompson is like the bigger Marcus Smart now. But hindi pa nahahawa yung players kay Marcus Smart ngayong season eh. Maybe
Yes.
because he was out for so long when he got injured. And Tatum missed 16 games because of COVID. I mean, yeah, it's not an excuse that
Of
they're
course.
going through a lot of things because all the teams like LeBron and AD are out now. Brooklyn, they've only played 7 games together. But yeah, the Celtics, I still have hope in them. But from a non-biased perspective, I think it's the Sixers and the Nets more that we should focus
I
on the East that
You
would
don't like the
win.
Bucks.
The Bucks, sorry, I don't believe in Giannis when the
Playoff.
big games.
Yeah,
He hasn't
yeah.
proven it.
He
But
has
at
to
least
figure that out. Yeah.
Sixers also hasn't. But at least the Sixers defense is
Great.
present. Like they
Yeah.
beat the Celtics this week. You could
Yeah.
see how long their first five is like their starting lineup. You
Yeah.
could see how long they are, and
That's
they're
what
all
matters.
like and hands up and bending. You can't pass anywhere. They're all
Yeah,
gonna get
yeah,
it.
for
Yeah.
sure. Really long. Tall lineup pa. And that's what matters at playoffs because the game slows down. That's my concern with Brooklyn. Like they
Mm-hmm.
can score all night, but let's see if they score the same way in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. So yeah, yun lang
Yun
naman.
yung advantage ng Boston, I think, yung playoffs. Like last year, no one
Oh,
expected them to win. Pero Tatum and Brown gusto nila yun eh, yung nagsa-slow down yung game. Eh yung Raptors, kunwari, kalaban nila, sila Van
oh,
Fleet.
grabe
They
si
wanna
Tatum.
run, di ba?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Grabe si Tatum nun. Kasi I think the Raptors took a lot of threes, no, last year.
Yeah, Siakam was taking too many. He's not
Yeah,
like,
and Tatum naman and Brown, they're ISO players eh. That's what you need eh. Parang low post fade away, tas, diba?
simple
So,
lang, ganun.
yeah. Pero Boston kasi parang the way I would describe them, they're like a jack of all trades but master of none.
Same,
But
yeah. Wala.
at least, they're good at some things already. So it's good foundation now. Square they need like roles to fit lang. Like, yo, you play this role. Because the only person that I see that's playing a specific role is Smart din talaga. Like that guy, the scrappy guy. So, we'll see. Pero I think Boston fans shouldn't be very sad naman. Yeah, they're struggling this season. Pero, I mean, high hopes pa rin.
Yeah. Honestly, Kemba also, because we expected Kemba to be a notch lower than Kyrie when we
Yeah.
get them. Kasi malas talaga Boston when they get players eh. Like they
Oh.
got Kyrie. He was terrific with the Cavs. When he went to the Celtics, he was okay. I mean, he was above average, but he wasn't superstar
I think he
level.
had locker room problems long.
Yeah. And then Hayward, when they got him, he was a
Injured.
23 per point per game scorer in the Jazz, goes to the Celtics, breaks his leg in the first game, never recovers. Then now they signed Kemba. Kemba still hasn't proven. Like last year, they were criticizing him for single digit points in crucial
Yeah,
playoff games.
that can't happen.
Yeah, it can't happen, especially this year. They're lacking firepower. No more thighs, no more. I don't know. Their bench is not that strong. Unless Fournier, the one I mentioned, he's
Yeah,
out again with health and safety protocols. But we'll see.
yeah, he started off with the 0 points though.
Oh yeah, he
But I
scored
think
25 back to
yeah,
back
yeah,
and
yeah.
biglang
He's a good,
nawala eh.
good addition naman, good addition.
Yeah. So hopefully Fournier provides the spark because they need a playmaker off the bench definitely.
Yeah, for
Wala
sure.
silang ganun. So pero talagang matchups din eh. Like pag Miami sila sa first round, mahihirapan kasi
Oh,
Miami can switch everything from 1
yeah.
through 5.
Now that they have Oladipo, diba? Extra
Yeah.
wing defense pa. Yeah, makes sense.
Sana talaga hindi Miami makalaban to be honest. Like Hawks baka kaya, Hornets ganun.
Or
Pero
do
wag
you
Miami.
think the Celtics will join the play-in tournament?
No, I think they'll make top 6, pero I don't know if they'll advance past the first round. I mean, from what I'm seeing now.
Yeah, okay. I see.
Mm.
I get you naman.
Yeah, especially if they play like the Bucks in the first round. I mean, I don't know, but like from
The
how they're playing now.
Warriors naman, I don't know eh. Kasi they were 7th for a while. Pero I think mag-play-in talaga sila. I noticed kasi with them, they really can't function without Curry talaga. They were able to beat the Lakers with AD, LeBron, the Clippers,
Mm.
other good teams. Pero when Curry's gone, bro, they suck. Like,
Yeah.
did you see the Toronto game? They lost by like 53.
I didn't watch the game, highlights lang, pero I saw how bad
Dude,
they were.
that's so bad. Pero if
Yeah.
you look at their lineup, they have they have Oubre, Wiggins,
Yeah.
Wiseman. So I think they need to figure it out how to play without Curry because you just can't rely on Curry alone. Because when he's gone, parang wala silang gana talaga. So yeah,
Like
let's see.
from a fan's perspective, kanina panalo na kayo, natalo pa. Like
Yeah,
up 3, tapos Bradley Beal 4-point play.
games like that, it's maturity na eh. That was an ill-advised foul talaga. Why would you foul a guy when he already shot it na?
He's in the air na, wala ka ng chance eh.
Yeah, pucha, they're up by 3, no? Nainis talaga ako nun.
Yeah.
Pero I think yung stuff like that, they can figure it out after a season or two. Because bagong kuha lang si Wiggins and Oubre. If you put Klay Thompson back, and if Wiseman matures, we'll see. Pero I think if they want to win a championship in the next few years, it will depend on Wiseman talaga. Because teams are stacked like the Nets, Lakers, diba? So it will depend on if they have this extra really, really good, talented guy. So we'll see how Wiseman matures.
Yeah, curious lang ako if you believe in this sentiment also because in Zach Lowe's podcast, they mentioned that Nick Friedel, his guest, he covers the Warriors. He mentioned that if the Warriors want to win with Curry, Clay, and Draymond as their core, they should trade Wiseman and their young guys like Poole, Pascal, and their Minnesota pick, the precious Minnesota pick from the Wiggins trade. They can trade that. But who would you give for that? Like the example they gave that on the top of their head was Bradley Beal. On an instant, I'd do that because Beal, Clay, and Steph.
Sure.
Yeah, but I don't know. Would you do a trade of risking the future to win maybe a 1 or 2 more rings with Steph, Clay, and Draymond?
I think Steph, Clay, and Draymond, they have a couple of years pa.
Yeah.
They have a couple of years pa. I would do that because if you look at the Nets, they got an old, washed Garnett Pierce and Darren Williams. So it didn't work out at all. It didn't make any sense. But for the Warriors, man, trading Wiseman for Beal, I mean, it's a gamble. Every trade naman is a gamble. Diba? It's a gamble. Pero
except CJ Perez, bro.
yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, it's a gamble getting Beal for Wiseman. Pero if they want to win with, kasi malayo yung gap ng age ni Curry and Wiseman eh. So if they,
Malayo eh.
malayo talaga.
More than
Beal,
10 years.
Beal is slightly younger. So if they get Beal for Wiseman, they can win right away for, let's say, 2 championships if it works out.
Yeah. Sacrifice lang. Wala kayong bench
Oh,
masyado. You need to add
oh,
vets like Aldridge and Griffin, like how Brooklyn added.
diba?
Yeah.
Pero if sina Curry retire na in Clay, and Beal's left, he could be an attractive commodity because he's a superstar. So I would do that for Bradley. Bradley Beal's the leading scorer of the league. Come on,
Yeah.
who wouldn't do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if the Warriors are iffy about trading out White, I get them. I don't blame them, man. It's not stupid for keeping the second overall pick, diba? In may skill siya, he can shoot, lakas sa ilalim. I think he's too raw pa for now, but he needs to mature lang. But high hopes naman for Wiseman.
Yeah, for sure. See, I'm also like a kind of a Warriors fan because as a kid growing up, my relatives are from there, from San Francisco, and they'd invite me to all the Warriors games. So it's kind of like ingrained in me to be kind of a Warriors fan. Like they wanted it to be my favorite team, but I was a Celtics and they'd get pissed. Like, why don't you cheer for the Warriors na lang? You watch us live, ganun. Pero,
Die hard sila.
huh?
Die hard sila, Warriors.
Yeah, die hard, yeah. But they don't watch like season tickets. Hindi man ganun. Pero ang dami nilang Warriors gear sa bahay, mga ganun. Yeah, so I think I also believe in the Warriors. Wiseman kasi, he gets lost in defense. Pick and roll, parang he doesn't know where to go. Hindi siya naka-bend. Tapos he keeps jumping dahil ang taas niya tumalon. So if fake lang siya, tapos sasabay siya.
And he bobbles the ball a lot. I don't know if you noticed, but he's not good at catching the inside pass.
Yeah,
so,
parang si Abu Tratter when Abu was in LaSalle.
Pero
ganun din.
So give him time. He's 20, young guy, so a lot of time. But if they want to win with Wiseman, he has to do it quickly.
Yeah, bilisan niya mga 3 years pwedeng reliable na siya.
He's not young. And then I see all these rumors that Curry's gonna team up with LeBron, whatever, man.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that. Yeah. But if they do, that's lala nun. Pero I don't believe that. So we'll see.
Yeah. So what? Do you have anything else you want to talk about or any other sport? I mean,
I think I'm good with the sport naman. Ikaw ba? Do you have any other topics with the sport?
We're all good.
AP, what are your thoughts on the next LaSalle team? I'm pretty confident that they'll play well.
Oh yeah, LaSalle definitely is really gonna be good. Like who did I talk to? I forgot. Basta I spoke to Andre Caracol also in my podcast. He was happy with the recruits because we're still recruiting. It's a pandemic. We got Kimbao, we got Nonoy. It's like even if Melesio left and if Baltasar could have left, but he's staying. It's a good bunch, but maybe who's gonna be the veteran on the team? That's gonna be Encho Serrano now and Waki Manuel. I don't know if they're like the bunch that's gonna be a great team captain or something. You never know. All the young guys. Sorry.
Manuel's the team captain.
Yeah, either Encho or Manuel. They're the only older ones. The others are all young. Or unless Balti, but like Balti doesn't talk.
Yeah. Pero LaSalle kasi, I'm not surprised that they struggled last 2 years kasi coaching change eh. Every coach is different, the principles of each coach, and they struggled to have that distinguished identity as a team because they just keep on switching coaches. So I guess if they plan to keep Pumarin long term, it's good for the school, good for the squad. So I have high hopes naman. Pero entering the UAAP, I expect Ateneo to show dominance because yun nga, may early preparation sila, di ba?
Yeah. Early preparation.
I get why naman, but yeah, I think the whole league should expect Ateneo to be prepared compared to other schools.
Yeah. So I guess we can maybe, I don't know, pag malapit na yung season, maybe we can delve deeper into the LaSalle, Ateneo, and UP topic.
Tayo nakaka-cover, bro.
Cover, masaya. Pero ako, naka-cover na ng isang basketball.
Di ba?
Yeah. Sana maka-cover bago mag-graduate.
Yun nga eh. I hope maka-cover man na ako. Pero yeah.
So as we wrap up the discussion, I mean, I could invite you again, when other topics suddenly flood the sporting world. But for now, I think that's a good conversation we had tonight. And do you have any final message before we go?
Wala lang. Let's see how the CJ Perez trade works out.
CJ Perez.
Terra Firma, I'm rooting for you. Kaya niya. But yeah, thank you for having me talaga. I'm a big fan of your podcast. Distinguished guests talaga, really high profile guests. And yeah, I mean, I hope you can have me back soon.
Yeah.
anytime. So huge honor.
Anytime, dude. It's
Thank
just
you so
like
much. Thank you so much. So
additional content. Like I plan to invite
sure.
friends, just talk about not hoops only. Like if there's a boxing match, like a Pacquiao Crawford
Yeah,
or a
man.
Poirier McGregor, can talk about it.
Congrats, bro. Like you're doing really well, honestly.
Yeah,
So
thank you, thank you. Hoping it continues and it's
sige.
more opportunities in the future. You never know.
Alright, alright.
So yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning in and watch the next episode of this segment called Just Saying. It could be me or yeah, it could be me with my friends talking about the sporting news. So see you all next time. Bye.